During the Christmas holidays, I went through more calories than I've gone through 5 knuckle shuffles during Lonely Valentine's Days, meaning I've put some winter weight on through the last couple of months. So for the next 7 or so weeks, I'm going to be trying to lose that weight. And in this video, I'm going to go over the daily regime of what I will do to lose that weight, and also go through a full day of eating or what I'm going to be having. So, starting off with how many calories I'll be eating on a daily basis, I'll be aiming to eat around about 2,200 calories per day, which will roughly put me in around about £1 per week weight loss. This is a much more sustainable and realistic way of trying to lose weight, rather than going on a crash diet, which I'm not going to stick to. Losing that weight slowly, gradually, is going to give me the best results. Also, a smaller calorie deficit of only losing £1 per week will hopefully mean I'll preserve some of the muscle I've built during my bulk. And this is important because muscle increases your metabolism, meaning you'll burn more calories off just at rest, versus a crash diet where muscle will be lost, slowing down your metabolism. And when I'm gradually losing that fat can be lost from absolutely anywhere. You can't spot reduce where your fat comes off from, and typically the places you hate the most will be the last places to leave. So that's why patience is so important while being in a calorie deficit and seeing the best results possible. As for the sort of diet I typically follow, it's a high protein diet. A high protein diet for me is the best option because protein is the most satiating macronutrient, meaning it keeps you more fuller for longer versus anything else. Also with that, muscle also retains and builds on muscle mass, which I hopefully once again will preserve the muscle I've built during my bulk and maybe even build on a little bit more. Unlikely during a calorie deficit, but I'll try my best. And also I'll also go with the approach of having low calorie dense foods, which pretty much means having a high volume of food but not a lot of calories in return. So stuff like a lot of fruits and vegetables are very low in calories, but you get a lot of volume of them to help bulk out your meals, thus sort of keeping you more full and making the dieting phase a lot easier. And also with that, there's absolutely no need to cut out any food groups like carbohydrates, for example. There's no need to treat carbs like how Carlo Ancelotti treats the taxman when he comes knocking at his door. Avoid it at all cost. Having a well-balanced diet of having plenty of proteins, fats and carbs is the best approach for me personally, having a well-balanced, realistic diet that I can stick to. And as for how much protein I'll be aiming to eat per day will be 140 grams. And the way to find that out is to do 0.7 to 1 gram per pound of your goal body weight. And the kilo version of that is 1.6 to 2.2 kilos of your goal weight. And that will be spread across 3 to 4 meals. I'm actually going to aim for 3 meals a day. So 3 meals spread across the entire day filled with proteins to hit that 140 gram mark. So there's also no need for intermittent fasting or anything like that. It's not black magic. It won't give you mythical results. It's just the principle of calories in versus calories out. And however you get those up to you. But for me personally, spreading out meals across the day is the most beneficial thing for me because it reduces the chance of snacking and overeating when my eating window is open if I was doing something like fasting. So the first thing I'll do every single morning before I eat or drink anything, I'll step on the scale. I do this because before eating or drinking, weighing yourself in a fasted state will give you the most accurate number possible. Because eating or drinking anything will potentially add on any excess weight. They'll give you the most accurate number possible on the scale. And what I'll do is I'll weigh myself 7 days a week. And at the end of that week, I'll count the highs and I'll count the lows. And I end up with the medium weight in the middle. And wherever that medium weight is, I log that into a notes app. And by week, as long as that weight keeps on coming down, I know I'm still in a calorie deficit. And that's what works for me personally. But I know for quite a lot of people, including myself when I first started losing weight, stepping on the scales is more of a scarier thought than what Philip Schofield and Holly Willoughby had, like the prospect of waiting in the queue. It's that terrifying. But now I'm actually in a position where I actually enjoy weighing myself, seeing the number come down. And I do also do this because weight loss is not a day-to-day sort of thing. It's very high and low. One day you might be a pound down, then you might be a pound up, then half a pound down. It's very unpredictable. So giving yourself the best weight possible, the best measurement possible, by weighing yourself 7 days a week works for me personally. And as I said, taking that medium weight. And I know for the first 2 weeks of me being in a diet, my weight will come down pretty quickly. That's because I'll be losing a lot of excess water from eating all that food from over the holidays. I'll be losing a lot of that water weight off, so I'll be losing quite a lot of weight for the first 2 weeks or so. But I know after that, I'll be back down to a gradual and slow £1 a week weight loss. But there will be a point in time during this diet when my weight loss will slow down and plateau a little bit. It'll come to a screeching halt like Gary Clitter's car going past the primary school. But then what I'll do is, and this is the big mistake I used to make back in the day, is that as soon as you've hit a plateau, you think you need to do endless amounts of cardio extra to burn those calories off and cut down 700 or 800 calories off. What I'm going to do now is I'll probably cut down 100 or 200 calories off while I'm eating, so 2,200 total. I'll maybe go down to 2,100 or 2,000, and I'll continue to weigh myself and try to start be back in a calorie deficit. So there's no need to drastically cut them calories off as soon as you hit a bit of a plateau. So now on to how do I know how many calories I'm actually eating on a daily basis, and for what works for me personally the most is actually tracking my food and weighing it out. I know that might be a pain in the ass for some people to think of, it definitely was for me at the start. But once you actually get in the habit of doing it, it's so easy. And most of these apps you can use, the one I use personally is called MyFitnessPal. You can quite easily just scan the barcode of whatever food you're having, and it's logged. The protein, the calories, everything is logged about that food, and it's very easy to do over time. And it's also important for me personally to weigh and track my food. It's because calories can be underestimated by people. I think around about 40% by overweight people, and a combination of that is that food labels can lie up to 20%. So if you have other people underestimating how much they're eating, and also the food labels lying of how much calories are actually in their foods, I mean that's a worse combination than me and a bloody hairbrush. So just weighing out the food, it takes out all the guesswork and stuff like that. It makes life a lot easier, and it's not too intimidating once you get in the swing of doing it. So the typical breakfast I have on a daily basis is not something too big. It's a protein yogurt pot with three rice cakes, which comes out to 293 calories and 22 grams of protein. I'm not the biggest morning eater in the world. I just like to get a meal in just in case. But you can definitely bulk out this meal with any blueberries or strawberries or anything like that. As I said, I was not a big eater in the morning, so this is more than enough to tide me over throughout the morning and then into the afternoon. But if you are a bit peckish in the morning, definitely bulk out this meal with some blueberries or strawberries or anything like that. Along with breakfast, I'll also have creatine first thing in the morning. I typically have around about 5 grams per day. It's not 100% necessary if you actually want to take this and when you are losing weight. It helps with me personally because it restores your ATP stores, which pretty much means it replenishes your energy. So when you're on a calorie deficit, therefore you're pretty much in an energy deficit because calories are energy. It's going to help me replenish them. So when I'm working out and stuff, I won't feel a massive hit just by eating the less amount of food. I have creatine help to supplement with that. As I said, not 100% necessary to take, but if you are someone that's going to take it, the first sort of week or two when you do have it, you're going to be putting on a bit of weight. This isn't fat or anything like that, so there's no need to panic. It's just water weight going into the muscles and stuff. So if you do take creatine, you will expect to put on a little bit of weight. Now onto the weightlifting that I do, which is the 4-day-a-week plan. The 1 day doing chest, triceps and legs, and the other day doing back, biceps and shoulders. I repeat this twice over, so each muscle group's getting hit twice per week, which is very good. And that's a total of 4 days per week. And during being in a calorie deficit, it's going to be a lot harder to try and increase those repetitions or try and increase the weight and from being in a calorie deficit. So as I said earlier, being in an energy deficit. But I'll try my best. If my rep off here and there on some of my lifts, there's no need to stress about it or anything like that. That strength will eventually come back once I'm over my cut and I'm back onto maintenance or even the bulk again. So yeah, I'll try my best to maintain my strength. What I definitely won't be doing is a myth that I used to fall into, is thinking just because you're losing weight, that means you have to lift lightweight and do high repetitions. That's a complete myth. That's a load of bollocks. This is actually very important to try and maintain your strength as much as possible. So I'll maintain what I'm doing at the moment. But now on to the typical lunch I'll be having during this dieting phase. And that'll be 4 hake chicken sausages, 4 turkey rations, 2 low-calorie wraps, which comes to a total of 512 calories and 58 grams of protein. And I'll be going into the air fryer for around about 8 to 10 minutes on 200 degrees. Along with that, we also will be having a 0-calorie drink, which is completely fine to have, which is sort of another myth I used to believe in, that you had to completely cut all that sort of stuff out. You could only ever drink water when you're losing weight or just in general. It's also great to also have water because it helps expand your stomach out and helps keep you more full. But 0-calorie drinks are absolutely fine. And in fact, the caffeine within those drinks can help you lose weight because the caffeine in them can help suppress your appetite. So there's no need to be fearful of 0-calorie drinks or anything like that. They're not going to kill you. Now I'm going to go over the cardio I'll be doing during this weight loss phase, which for my favourite form of cardio, which is walking. Steps for me is the best form of cardio you can do. For me personally, during this time, I'll be aiming to hit around about 8 to 10,000 steps per day. Sometimes it might be more, sometimes it might be less. Doesn't really matter as long as I'm sort of in that range on a daily basis. I'm completely fine. But if you are someone that's starting out losing weight, I'll definitely say to take this nice and slowly and have a gradual build up and do whatever you can do now and try and improve that over time. Because me personally, when I first started losing weight, there'll be absolutely zero chance of me trying to bloody do 10,000 steps. The inner thigh rashes will be absolutely killing me. So just do what you can do now and try and improve it over time. Steps is great for everyone because it's easily accessible. Literally, you can just go outside and do it. You haven't got to sign up for a gym or anything like that. And for me, that's the most best thing when it comes to losing weight. Because cardio is only a small sprinkle on top of what you're going to be burning off. Your bulk of your calorie burn per day will come from your BMR, which is how much your body burns at rest. And cardio is only around about 200 to 300 calories extra more on top of that. It will add up over time, but it's not the main source of your calorie burns. There's no need to overstress about doing it. And also you can track your steps with anything. I've got an Apple Watch here. I don't actually use it that much anymore because I know how to track my steps and all that. They are great, but one thing I will say about them is that the calorie burn on them can be very overestimated, like a Tommy Robinson rally attendance. Make sure not to eat those calories back that you burn, because these things can be massively overshot of how much you typically are burning off during any sort of exercise. So they are good if you genuinely want to just track your steps, but the calorie burn on them can be very misleading. Then typically I'll have a midday snack during the day around about 2 or 3 o'clock. This is just going to help keep me more full during the day. Instead of snacking on something like chocolate, which is going to go straight through me and can have a lot of calories on top of that. So what I'll do is I usually have around about 250 grams of strawberries and an apple to go along with that. Plenty of fibre in there as well, which helps keeps you more full as it takes longer to digest. And this only comes out to 186 calories for all that volume of food. So a midday snack with some fruits works for me and very good. Then that will typically lead me on to my dinner, which will be my final meal of the day, which is cheeseburger and potatoes, which is 5% lean mince, 170 grams of that, 230 grams of potatoes, 2 low-calorie cheese slices, and a low-calorie bun, which comes to a grand total of 635 calories and 58 grams of protein. Along with that, I also have some light mayonnaise. It's also good to convert to lower-calorie alternatives versus the 40-calorie stuff. That's going to save you hundreds of calories and something you can seamlessly do without even noticing you're doing it. Much like the diet drinks, it's just a small little change that can go a very, very long way. So eating all that food together would come to a total of 1,603 calories and 141 grams of protein, and that would give me an extra 597 calories left over, so I can use that calories with whatever I want. And this is what works for me personally, is having actually first of all a diet I enjoy having, because I think my diet is actually quite alright. It's not boring or anything. It's not like crappy salad or just chicken in every single meal, and it's quite diverse, and it's foods I generally enjoy eating, so that's why I find dieting so easy now. If I'm going from struggling my entire life to losing weight now, which is why I find something very easy to do, because I actually enjoy doing it. Along with that, having those allocated extra calories off, so 597 calories I can fill those calories up with whatever I want during the evening time. So crisp or chocolate, it doesn't matter. As long as it fills into that bracket, I can have whatever I want. And that's the most sustainable and realistic thing for me. I'm not going for the all-out approach of thinking I have to cut out absolutely everything I've been eating my entire life. Just eating it in moderation, so I can still have it, but not go overboard with it, so I'm going to put weight on. And that's what works for me personally, and something I definitely endorse to my former self to do, not to cut out absolutely everything I enjoy eating, just lower it down in moderation. So that concludes my plan for the next 7 or 8 weeks or so, what I'm going to be doing to lose off some of the winter weight I've been putting on. Nothing extreme, not a crash diet like I said, and something I can sustainably and realistically stick to. And if you are someone that's new to losing weight in the brand new year, I'd definitely recommend to go with that approach. Give yourself the entire year. What's the point of making New Year's resolutions and giving up in March? You might as well do something slow and consistent, something you actually generally enjoy doing, enjoy the process, and actually try and learning how to lose weight, because it actually is a skill in its own right. So if you are someone that struggles to lose weight your entire life like I have, it's something you've got to get better at over time. So don't be too harsh on yourself, pick something slow and realistic, something you can stick to, and hopefully you'll be able to hit your goals by the end of the year.